Hi everybody, Brent Kluge coming to you from 203kworld.com to talk to you today about HUD Consultants for 203ks. A couple of points about them. What are they? Who are they? And what to look out for. So 203k consultants. They're needed on a project for a full 203k. Streamlines aren't required. Streamline is a project of $35,000 or less with minor renovations. You can't do a streamline if you have structural issues and a couple of other things, even if the project is small. But you would need a 203k consultant. What is a consultant? Well, it's someone that's independently licensed from HUD. So they go to HUD, they submit a package to be a consultant, and the truth is, it's not really hard to get that. I'm one myself, and have been for quite some time. A consultant essentially is the go-between between, say, the lender, the contractor, and you, the owner. They're there to inspect work, to estimate the work, to determine minimum property standards and what's required for HUD on their initial inspection. They're there to draw up all the work to be done. They could either do something, a snapshot called a feasibility study, or they do a formal specification of repairs, which would be required on your loan. That's the paperwork that they would submit, in addition to the contract for services from your contractor. Their numbers on their specifications of repairs and the contractor's numbers have to match, both in scope, what's to be done, and price, how much it's going to cost. So the consultant's there to go through and essentially look at the place and say, okay, in order to bring this place to minimum FHA property standards, you're going to have to do this, 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 and this. And then they're going to turn to you and say, what else do you want to do? And you might say, we want a new kitchen, a new bath, a new this, a new that. And he goes and estimates what a contractor typically charges for all this work, or at least he should. The nice thing is, get your consultant to give you a bid package. That essentially is a finished specification to repairs without the numbers. So all the work is written up in contractor legalese, yet no numbers. That way you can give this to contractors and say, here's the job I would like you to bid when you're vetting your contractors. In addition, after the loan closes, the consultant is there typically to come in and do the draw inspections. So when your contractor says, I'm ready for a check, you actually contact the consultant comes in, inspects that work was done properly, and exactly what work was done, and what percentage of the draw can be released. Furthermore, they're there essentially to, it's not in their job description, but this is what we do, to keep the peace. They are the lender's eyes and ears on the project, and at the same time, if there's a discrepancy or a misunderstanding between the homeowner and the contractor, they're there to sort of be the go-between. A good consultant looks out for the owner's interests, of course, first. However, they do what they can to get the project to its completion while looking out for all parties. Okay, a few little pointers about 203k consultants. They're independently licensed. I'll put the link in the remarks column of where to click to go to HUD to check your state. So you want to check that they are actively licensed, no sanctions against them. But here's the thing. I'm in Maryland. I live in Maryland, right? And there's roughly 140 different consultants in Maryland right now actively licensed. Half of them have a direct conflict of interest in that they are either currently contractors or they work for a contractor, or they have another side business whereby they can't do both at the same time. I'm one of them. I'm in 203k lending. I'm in finance. So in no way am I going to or could I be the 203k consultant on a loan and the lender on for your 203k loan. Can't. However, most of them, over half typically, have this conflict. So you want to look out for that. On every project, a 203K consultant has to sign something called an identity of interest statement, which says, I have no, arm's length transaction, no relation, no knowledge of the lender, the buyer, the realtor, the this, the that, and they sign a statement saying that they're completely independent. So make sure that your 203K consultant is and remains independent. Furthermore, if they are a contractor, clearly if they're saying they want to do the job too, red flag, right? Red flag. I need a flag. I don't know. Red flag. Problem. Get away from them. Find somebody new. So anybody that any 203K consultant that has a contractor's license and pitches the job at the same time, you want to stay away from them. If the 203K consultant is independent and professional, great. You want to ask for examples of their work. You want to talk to them about, how do you work? You want to ask them about their fees. The unique thing about 203K consultants is that the fee used to be there were guidelines from HUD. They're gone. So now 203K consultants' fees are all across the board. They might charge $250 or $500 for an inspection fee. Some consultants charge the entire fee up front. That's not good or bad. It's just the way, different fees are. Make sure you understand their fees, not just for inspections and how much it costs to do the paperwork, but also how much are their draws? Are you doing 3-5 draws? Is it $150 or is it $250 per draw? So understand the fee. Furthermore, ask your lender if they have a consultant that they require or if they will work with the one that you've chosen. Because a lot of times there are 2-3K consultants in this market that perhaps are not allowed to work with certain lenders. I don't want to, I know some really good consultants that ran into issues that aren't supposed to work with certain lenders. It doesn't mean that they're bad consultants. It's just business. It happens now and again. It's not pointing any fingers. But if you've chosen your lender and you're going to go with your loan with this company, you certainly want to work with a consultant that can do their services, for that company. You want to talk to your consultant about your project size and scope to ensure that their experience fits it. If you're doing a $250,000 renovation where you're doing a tear down and complete rebuild, you don't want to work with a consultant that really has been doing $30,000 or $50,000 projects and really doesn't have the experience and the know-how to write up and manage a large project. So my advice to you would be to ask them for a large project that can strike through the names and show me the paperwork that you've recently done on a project and let me see that the project's done. Maybe there's one, the consultant's going to be close to your locality. so should a project. So show me, a recent project in the last year that you've done that's $200,000. And you can drive by the house and see that it's up and it's built. It's important. I think you should do that. I mean, if your lender gives the consultant a passing review and has direct knowledge that that has happened before or that they've worked with them on that size project, maybe that would be okay, but it's up to you. If your last piece here is if your consultant isn't a contractor and passes all the initial vetting and you talk with them and their fees are great and their experience is perfect and you meet with them and you seem to think you can work with them, great. What happens if you start to choose a contractor and they say, hey, I got a great contractor I know would be perfect for this project? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. The truth is they sign the identity of interest statement, so if they refer a contractor, is there really an arm's length situation here? It's a big gray area with HUD right now, to be honest. Should a lender refer a contractor? It's tough. I try and allow my customers, my clients, to go find their own contractors first. And if for whatever reason they can't, I have them sign a hold harmless statement that says, You can choose any contractor you want. You don't have to choose anybody I refer. I am going to give you a list of a few contractors that have done well for our previous clients in the area, and I want you to add them to your list of vetting, and that you know that you hold me and my company harmless if you choose this contractor and work is done or isn't done to standards, etc., etc. So why can't a consultant do the same thing that a lender can do? Well, it's a little different because the consultant signs that identity of interest statement and definitely has to remain independent throughout the entire project. So I'm not going to say that you should red flag if a consultant says, I think this contractor would be good for you. It's not a bad thing. All I'm saying is ensure that there remains an independence. Talk to the contractor, add them to your list of vetting, compare, get a few estimates. Check that out. 203K loans, great loans to buy, renovate, rehab, and gain equity in a house. 203K Consultants, excellent tool to help you through the project and, and make a renovation project and a renovation loan go a little bit smoother. In a perfect world, and in the majority of the projects, consultants are there to help solve problems, and they do. So 203K Consultants, excellent tool, asset for you in your 203K loan. Just go to the HUD website, talk to your lender, find somebody that's quality. Go out, buy houses, make equity, renovate, have fun, enjoy your life.
Turbulence is like a sigh that I can't help but overthink. What is the purpose of my life if it doesn't have to do with learning to let it go? Live vicariously through, you could do the same. It's the least you could do, cause it's a lonely little chain. If you don't add to it, so go on.